Welcome to NACTV Reads the Banner. My name is Catherine Jasnick, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. You may be joining us online at Neepawa Access Live, WCG 12, Channel 30 Direct Sightline, MTS or Bell Express View. These broadcasts are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, and donations by viewers like yourself. If you enjoy what you see and hear, please consider supporting us by a donation or by volunteering. Contact our office at 204-476-2639 or nactb@wcgwave.ca. And today I am reading the Neepawa banner dated May the 26th, 2017. And on the very front page is a title called Soon to be New and Improved. And it shows the existing boards and score clock at the Neepawa's Yellowhead Arena, which will soon be replaced. Major upgrades are looming for the Yellowhead Arena. On Monday, May 22nd, the Board of Directors for the Yellowhead Center in Neepawa unanimously passed a pair of motions. One for the installation of new arena boards, and the second for a new scoreboard clock. The exact cost of the improvements has yet not been released to the public due to various options available on this work that may affect the pricing. Yellowhead Center Board President Darian Major said the reason for moving forward on these upgrades had to do with the ongoing costs associated with maintaining and repairing the existing boards and clock. The current arena boards had required significant repairs every year. Those repairs recently became more costly as their condition slowly deteriorated, which has helped to facilitate this action, noted Major. These improvements are something the YHC has been exploring for quite some time, as a committee was appointed to oversee a detailed review of the current arena boards and options for new ones. They had phone calls with and viewed many other arenas throughout Manitoba to gather new information. In addition, they had several companies with backgrounds in arena maintenance and renovation brought in to look at the current boards and evaluate the need. All those companies cited serious concerns over safety with the existing boards and their condition. Major said this information helped in the decision-making process, stressing that it was very important for the Board of Directors to ensure they provide a facility that is safe for all user groups. The arena boards will be the new style of flexible board system that provides some give when a player hits them. This improves the safety for all players, especially those who are playing contact hockey. This style of boards have been mandated for both the National and American Hockey Leagues, and it is expected that Junior A teams will also require this system of arena boards in the very near future for player safety. Major also stated that while they will have new boards, the arena will still be able to use the existing 6-foot glass and mesh netting. Those items are both still in good condition, and their continued use will reduce the costs. Also, Major added that one interesting feature of these new boards is that they can be removed. So this could expand the opportunity for future events for the Yellowhead Center, adding potential revenue streams. The upgrades to the boards are expected to be paid for through a combination of sources. The majority of cost will be looked after through the use of reserve funds, which have been accumulating for several years. As well, the cost of advertising along the boards will see an increase. Several government grant opportunities are available and could be pursued. The new score clock, meanwhile, will hang down from the rafters at center ice, with game information able to be viewed from all four sides. The time clock will not hang much lower than the old existing speaker system, which is currently situated in that spot. Those speakers will be removed to accommodate the new scoreboard. Major noted that the decision for a center ice system was driven by a few factors. First was the fact that the current clock was beginning to have ongoing breakdown issues. Because repairs were becoming more frequent and locating the necessary replacement parts more difficult, the YHC board felt that it was time for a replacement. Two alternatives were looked at: a single panel wall clock, which would hang at one end of the arena, or a 4-panel center ice option. The board unanimously approved the center ice option, subject to obtaining sufficient sponsors who would help support the cost. To date, the Yellowhead has received an anonymous donation of $10,000 to support the 4-sided system. In addition, the scoreboard will provide sponsors with options to advertise. These features and the donation helped the board make the decision to approve the center ice clock, as they believe the revenues from advertising will be able to offset the additional cost. As for a time frame when this work is to be completed, removal of the old boards and installation of the new ones is only expected to take a couple of weeks. At this time, the YHC board is waiting to hear back from the suppliers they wish to use to confirm availability, but is confident all upgrades will be done before the start of hockey and figure skating season. This is the second straight year the YHC board has moved ahead with massive upgrades. In 2016, around $150,000 worth of improvements to the facility included the installation of new LED lighting, a dehumidifier, low E ceiling, the painting of the arena seating, and readjustment of the heating system. As for the old arena boards, which date back to 1971, they have been offered to and accepted by a local committee for use in their facility. Before that agreement was finalized, the boards were first offered to the town of Neepawa for use at the flats. Representatives with the town declined the offer. Neepawa's Yellowhead Center is a non-profit, community-owned recreation facility that was first developed in 1971. The facility is home to many local organizations, including the Neepawa Natives Junior A Hockey Club, the Neepawa Farmers Senior Hockey Team, Neepawa Tigers High School Hockey Team, and local minor hockey. It is also home to the Neepawa Figure Skating Club, synchro skating, and wide array of other programs. And back here to number 2 page we go. And it has a couple of really nice photographs on the front from the Hazel M. Kellington students, their annual operetta they performed on May 17th and 18th after weeks of rehearsals. And I wasn't there, but from all accounts, it was just phenomenal. And the top photo shows Mrs. Boyles and Miss Maybon's grade 5 kids on the Roxy stage singing, "I Need a Vacation." And then the smaller photograph shows grade 5 kids performing "We Can Be Together Fishing." And 4-H'ers excited to showcase their organization and province. It is an exciting time for Neepawa area 4-H members, and this weekend they're hoping to share that excitement with the greater community. On Saturday, May the 27th, members and their parents will be running the matinee showing of Smurfs, giving them an opportunity to promote their organization, as well as support the Roxy Theatre and the Chamber of Commerce's Neepawa Fair. We want to give back to our community and support the Chamber of Commerce weekend by volunteering at the Roxy, said Cheryl Beaumont, one of the leaders. Moviegoers will pay regular rates for admission and concession, but will have the chance to learn about 4-H and win some door prizes. Members will also be selling pay-what-you-pull tickets and grocery vouchers to help fund another exciting upcoming initiative, an exchange to Nova Scotia. 12 members from the Neepawa Bells, Bows and Builders and Neepawa and area beef clubs, along with 2 leaders, will be taking part in the exchange. On June 29, they're twins. Each Neepawa member will be paired with a member from Amherst, Nova Scotia, will arrive and stay until July the 8th. On July 24th, the Neepawa group will head east for their portions of the exchange. So far, most of the Neepawa members have talked to their twin through either text messages or video chat, and they're excited to share the province with their visitors. The Neepawa members will start by picking their twins up from their airport and seeing some Winnipeg attractions, starting with the Forks and a tour of the Human Rights Museum. Then the group will come back to Neepawa, where they will take part in the NACI Awards Night and join the Neepawa members at school as they finish up the school year. Other attractions will include Clear Lake, Hollywood Beach, Minnedosa Beach, and the Carberry Sandhills. With the exchange taking place during the area 4-H Fat Stock Show and Sale, it will also provide a chance for the non-beef members to experience the sale. Rebecca Lynn Pedersen, a beef club member, said the entire group will be catering at the sale and participating in a couple of cattle events, including a team grooming competition and stall cleaning competition. The Neepawa members will spend their time on the East Coast in Nova Scotia and PEI and are excited about what they'll see. Cicely Holm, a Bells member, is looking forward to meeting the host families and seeing the monuments. Claire Tomanico, also a Bells member, is excited about the food and the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, which includes artifacts and information related to the Titanic. With a prairie heritage filled with immigration, many of the members are keen to visit to the Pier 21 Museum, Canada's National Museum of Immigration, and the port of entry for many European immigrants to Canada. This is one of the attractions Maddie Kilburn, a Bells member, is especially looking forward to her. Her grandfather and great-grandfather came to Canada through Pier 21. Much of the cost of the airline tickets have been supported by the Government of Canada's Canadian Heritage Department's Youth Exchanges Canada, and the group has done local fundraising to help offset some of the costs associated with admission, transportation, some meals, and an overnight stay in Winnipeg. Our group is very honored to be supported by the community with many generous donations, said Cheryl Beaumont, of the support they've experienced from their community. And what an excellent experience that is for the 4-H members. Pack and Park, back for a second year. I guess it's Pack and the Park, back for a second year. Pack in the Park, the Prairie Alliance Church, PAC, in Neepawa's Summer Family Fun Day is coming back Sunday, June the 18th. PAC, which belongs to the Christian and Missionary Alliance, an evangelical Protestant denomination within the Holiness Movement of Christianity, first opened its doors in Neepawa on October 2015. Its sister church, also called PAC, is located in Portage-la Prairie. Stafford Greer, pastor at PAC in Neepawa, says he's excited for the chance to share faith and fun with local families, and hopes that this year the weather will prove pleasant for the event. Last year was really good. The weather didn't cooperate, though, he remembers. We ended up getting rained on, but we had a backup plan to be at the Yellowhead. So we saw about 200 to 300 people come out and take part in it. Greer says PAC really wants to contribute to making Neepawa a healthy, happy place to raise families and for people to live. The heart of this event is that we want to provide a no-cost, no strings attached, family-friendly event. Everything we're doing is totally free, he notes. The event, held at Riverbend Park, will kick off with a church service at 11 a.m., followed by a free community barbecue at noon. From 1 to 5 p.m., PAC is providing free swimming at Neepawa's outdoor pool, and there will also be children's entertainment, bouncy castles, and face painting. We just want to make our town a better place to live, Greer attests. We've had a lot of openness towards our presence in town as people learn to trust that we want the best for them and the town. The things we do really don't have strings attached. We just want to share Jesus' love. If it does happen to rain on June the 18th, the event will take place instead on June the 25th. That would be 1 week later. And just to remind you that Wednesday nights is bingo on NAC TV, again on Channel 12, MTS 30, Bell Express View 592, or online at nactv.tv. Bonanza is $2,550, and X is $150, Blackout $500. The Looney Pot is $1,089 and goes up weekly. Bingo cards are available for $12 each at many of the local businesses. And this is one of the fundraising efforts that helps NACTV keep operating. Plus, it's kind of fun too. And you get to win something. Maybe. And my perspective column, which is written by editor Kate Jackman Atkinson, is titled, Not Like the Old Days. During the winter, one could be forgiven for forgetting that we live in an agricultural area. Far from sight, the cows are in the corrals and the crops are in the bins. But with each passing day, we are reminded of the importance of agriculture to the region. Each warm day, we see more farm equipment on the roads and in the fields, and cows and calves can be seen out in the pastures. Agriculture is an important part of the Canadian economy, but one which many Canadians rarely give a passing glance. Sure, they might think about farmers when they go to the grocery store, but few give more than a passing thought to how their food got on the table. Even fewer have a knowledge grounded in fact about who produces their food and how. It's a dangerous situation for farmers, whose reality consists of increasing regulation combined with rule makers and a general public further removed from the realities of farm life than ever before. So who is today's farmer? On May the 17th, Statistics Canada released the results of the 2016 Census of Agriculture. StatsCan describes modern farming, saying, farming has evolved into an innovative career choice, requiring knowledge of business management and technology, as well as the agricultural sciences. That image is far removed from the agricultural landscape many Canadians' parents and grandparents left to find promise and opportunity in the cities. While farming a century ago may have been characterized as a hard scrabble operation, lacking most of the basic amenities or distractions enjoyed by urban dwellers, today's reality paints a different picture. The trend of fewer but larger farms continued in the 2016 Census of Agriculture, when 193,492 agricultural operations were recorded, 5.9% fewer than in 2011. The census also found a shift towards growing crops. In 2016, 93.4 million acres of crop were grown in Canada, up 6.9% from 2011. This is the most acres in crop ever recorded by StatsCan, and the report notes that much of that increase is due to declining use of summer fallow, as producers move to zero-till and crop rotation in order to keep land in production. Farmers are constantly looking at ways of increasing productivity. Canada's farmers are also getting older. but there are signs that younger farmers are entering the industry. Between 2011 and 2016, the age of the average farmer increased by 1 year to 55 years from 54. The vast majority of farmers are between the ages of 50 and 64. But the number of farm operators under the age of 35 increased by 3% between 2011 and 2016, even though the total number of operators was decreasing. The last time there was an increase in this age category was in 1991. Clearly, many Canadians see a bright future in farming. Canadian farms are also growing as technology allows larger areas to be farmed. In 2016, there were 193,492 agricultural operations covering 158.7 million acres in 2016, making the average farm size 820 acres. This is almost double the average farm size in 1971, when 366,110 agricultural operations covered 169.7 million acres, with an average farm size of 463 acres. In the 45 years since 1971, the number of agricultural operations in Canada have decreased by 47.1%, and the total farm area decreased by 6.4%, likely as urban areas expand into farmland. There is no doubt that farmers will continue to face increased regulation and reporting requirements, whether related to food safety, environmental concerns, or consumer demands. Most of these regulations are well-intentioned, but with fewer Canadians having first-hand knowledge of farm operations, it's increasingly important for Canada's fewer farmers to tell their stories. They need to play an active role in developing legislation and regulations that meet the needs of both producers and consumers. And I'm sure many can relate to that. And Rita Friesen's Homebodies column, this week it's titled Lessons Learned. The book on my bedside this month is Simple Wisdom for a Complicated World, Amish Peace, by Suzanne Woods Fisher. It is a series of Amish proverbs with examples from their daily living. Many of the proverbs are familiar and still applicable and teachable. As I read them, they deal in 5 sections. I reviewed my life. Simplicity, the worth of money. He who has no money is poor. He who has nothing but money is poorer. Amish proverb. I have been poor, cashing in empties for milk money rather speaks of wrong priorities. They were not my priorities, but was a desperate time. Thankfully, I will never be one who has nothing but money. I have family members I cherish, friends that I love, and a host of acquaintances that I appreciate. I have my health, and underpinning it all, I have a solid faith. Time, the team. More is caught than taught. Amish proverb. It matters not how oft a leader speaks of honesty, hard work, or any other positive attribute, if they do not exemplify it in daily living. A child witnessing a volatile outburst or a harsh, unjust act remembers that more vividly forever than the spoken words. Parents, teachers, prominent folks are most closely watched. Actions do indeed speak louder than words, and life standards are more caught than taught. Community, face to face. A friend is like a rainbow, always there for you after a storm. Amish proverb. There are not many that do not know and understand this one. Community is important, how we live, laugh, and grieve together. A friend doesn't wait for an invitation or a call for help. After Ed's death, a life-changing storm for me, Neighbors and acquaintances appeared at the door with casseroles, baked goods, and comfort. Friends ensured that I left the house, moved forward as I was able. Forgiveness, the given word. Swallowing words before you say them is so much better than having to eat them afterward. Amish proverb. How many don't understand that one? My children and then my grandchildren called it my thinking face. When one or more of them asked me a question, I tried not to give a hasty answer. If the answer was to be negative, there had to be valid reasons for it. When I stepped into the role of mother to a young family, I knew it was the most important job I would ever have, and I wanted to succeed. I chose my words very carefully and was mostly successful. My adult children are my friends, and I am thankful. There have been many times I have had to eat my words, and it is a most unsavory and unsatisfactory dish. The sovereignty of God, be ye separate. Opportunity may knock once, but temptation bangs on your front door forever. Amish proverb. I asked a very senior friend if it became easier to be good as one became more mature. With a laugh at me, she assured me, no, the temptations only vary. HRCC prepares for Building Blitz, and HRCC is the Happy Rock Children's Center. It has been an incorporated child care facility in Gladstone for over 30 years. Since the late 80s, the center has operated out of a space located in the basement of the Seven Regions Health Center. Over the years, the program has evolved alongside parameters set out by the Manitoba Child Care Association of Manitoba. With the continual adaptations to comply with government standards, the center finds an increased difficulty to operate out of its limited space at 7 regions. The HRCC Building Committee, comprised of HRCC board members, community members, and representatives from local organizations and the municipal office, has been actively fundraising for 5 years and has a goal to start the building process within the next year. The committee has raised over $300,000 to date and looks to raise the next $100,000 prior to putting the shovel in the ground. The committee has used funds already raised to acquire land that is adjacent to the elementary school in town, which will enable the center's before and after school program to flourish. The building committee has overseen building designs that will allow the center to operate within the provincial guidelines established by its governing body, Manitoba Daycare. What the committee forecasts as the final year of fundraising efforts prior to acquiring a mortgage and putting the shovel in the ground will kick off with the Building Blitz. During this Building Blitz, donors can choose their own level of contribution and help to build the center, 1 brick or 1 2x4 at a time. Those looking to support the project in a major way will have the option of purchasing the naming rights to one of the center's rooms. HRCC will provide official charity receipts to all donors. Following the launch of the Building Blitz, the center will host its 3rd annual cash draw, where the grand prize offers a choice between one of its major prizes or $10,000 in cash. The HRCC Building Committee will also host another Rotary Amateur Talent Night in January of 2018. In early 2018, the committee will hear the results of their Family Choices Building Fund grant application from the provincial government, and construction will commence shortly after. The HRCC Building Committee, along with members of the HRCC Board of Directors, appreciates what a great community in which we exist, with support for this project given everywhere you turn. Those who have come forward to offer their support for this project have been overwhelming. Many individuals, organizations, municipal governments, and local businesses have offered support as well, bringing the committee's fund to the level of success that it has reached. The committee, along with a strong group of supporters in the community, believe in the value that such a project will surely bring to the community and surrounding area. If you have never visited the center, the committee encourages you to take a virtual tour on YouTube, searching Happy Rock Children's Center. You will find 2 separate videos created by our local Gladstone Access TV group. We hope that after paying our center a virtual visit, you can share our vision and will consider HRCC as a recipient of your next charitable donation. The committee appreciates donations of all sizes in support of the new Happy Rock Children's Center. Community members are reminded to watch their mailboxes for the Building Blitz flyer. If you have any questions, want to see the building plans, or are interested in contributing in any way, please contact Center Director Jennifer Maloney at 204-385-3046. And keeping with the Gladstone theme, Gladstone Music and Arts Festival. The winners are shown in a photo here: Azaria Neuschwander and Madison Tygrove. The annual Gladstone Music and Arts Festival, the longest running festival in Manitoba, once again provided young musicians and singers an opportunity to showcase their skills in front of an audience and receive feedback from an accredited adjudicator. Having completed its 87th year, the Gladstone Music and Arts Festival continues to draw performers from the Gladstone, Plumas, McGregor, Austin, Langruth, and Neepawa areas. The band sessions were held on April the 11th. Nancy Noasad, a music adjudicator, adjudicated. Ms. Noasad has adjudicated at music festivals for over 20 years in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Western Ontario. The choral vocal sessions were held on April 19th and 20, with Arlene Collins adjudicating. Ms. Collins has a private music studio where she teaches singing, piano, accordion, guitar, and theory. She enjoys sharing her expertise with students and teachers of all ages. The piano-violin sessions were held on April 25th and 26th, with Arlene Baschak adjudicating. Ms. Baschak is a past president of the provincial AMAF Festival Board and is a strong believer in the value of music festivals. The committee would like to thank William Morton Collegiate Institute, Gladstone Elementary School, Gladstone United Church, and the municipality of Westlake Gladstone for their continued support. Thank you to those who donated to the festival operating fund and bursary fund in 2017. Donors of the Gladstone Music and Arts Festival can now receive charitable receipts which may be used for income tax purposes. Charitable receipts are provided by the Big Grass Community Foundation. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. Thank you to everyone who attended the Highlights concert on Sunday, April 30th at Gladstone United Church. And there is, following is a list of the winners for each class of the festival. And I won't read them all, but there's there's a large amount of them, so that obviously had very good participation, which is just excellent. Congratulations to all of those students and people that were involved in that music festival. And Out of Helen's Kitchen, and this is titled War Comes to the Prairies. Friends, families, and well-wishers went down to the Neepawa train station to send the soldiers of the 226th Battalion, which included Neepawa area residents, off to fight in World War II. And the photo here is courtesy of the beautiful Plains Museum. World War I started in August of 1914. Many believed it would be over by Christmas, so they joined up for a little excitement. Women banded together to form Red Cross societies. They fundraised, knit socks, hats, and mitts, made bandages, jams, pickles, and cakes to send to the boys overseas. They were asked to sacrifice by rationing sugar, flour, butter, eggs, and meats, so the men overseas had enough. Posters were put up to remind them, "We are saving you, you save food." The women's sacrifice was greater than food. They sacrificed their sons and husbands. They came together at train stations to see the men off and celebrated together when they came home. When the war ended on November 11, 1918, nearly 61,000 Canadians did not return. Many of those who came home were wounded in body and spirit. Canada's effort on the battlefields fueled the nation's confidence and independence. Though confederated in 1867, Canada truly moved from being a colony to being its own country. And one of the feature recipes is a Canadian war cake from an old 1914 cookbook. It sounds actually quite good and very simple, which is always nice for some of us. It's 2 cups of brown sugar, 2 cups of hot water, 2 tablespoons of lard, 1 pound of raisins cut up, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of cloves, teaspoon of soda, 1 teaspoon hot water, and 3 cups of flour. You bring to a boil the first 7 ingredients in a pot, turn down the heat and simmer for 5 minutes and cool. Add the soda and 1 teaspoon of hot water, add to the raisins, stir in the flour, bake in 2 loaf pans at 325 for 45 minutes or until baked all the way through. Sounds like an interesting cake. And another recipe here from Helen is pineapple raisin loaf from her own kitchen. And that is 1 egg, a cup of brown sugar, 1/3 cup milk, 1/3 cup oil, 1 teaspoon vanilla, cup of crushed pineapple undrained, 1 1/2 cups of chopped raisins, 2 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon each of baking soda and salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Stir together the egg, sugar, milk, oil, and vanilla. Mix in the pineapple and raisins. In another bowl, mix all the dry ingredients. Add the dry to the wet and lightly stir until mixed. Turn into a lightly greased loaf pan. Bake in preheated 350 oven for 55 to 65 minutes or until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. Sounds like a very nice loaf as well. And there's another little photo up on the top corner here, and it's the craft and market sale located at the On and Knoll Recreation Center. Was very popular on Saturday, May the 20th. One of the vendors, Authentic Wood Toys of Oka River, featured a Noah's Ark. And I don't know if you can see that or not. It's right about there. But it looks really quite fascinating. On the Happy Rock Horseshoes, saddle up for the season. On April 25th, the Happy Rock Horseshoes 4-H Club held a meeting at Megan Hall's house. 7 members were present. We discussed the horse show that will be held at the Gladstone Fair on August the 12th. Our club will be helping organize the horse show. After the meeting, we examined horse manure under a microscope to see if there were parasites or worms in it. We saw worms in some of the manure samples. We will be riding on Friday evenings as often as we can. On May 19th and 20th, we will be having a barrel clinic with Taryn Bailey. Our achievement will be on August 11th at the Gladstone Fairgrounds. Everyone is welcome to come and watch. We will go to the obituaries. And today we only have one. Bernice Crisco Bernice was born August 4, 1921 at Eden and passed away May the 7th. She was 95 years old. She is survived by a sister Lorraine, daughters Maxine, Bev, Karen, and sons Monty, Miles, and many grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Bernice was raised by her parents, Tony and Verna Wabick, in the RM of Rosedale. She was the third child of 9. Bernice married Mike Crisco February the 12th, 1939. In 1941, they moved to St. Catharines, Ontario, and returned to Eden in 1953. Bernice and Mike moved to Neepawa in 1980, where she worked at Eastview Lodge for 15 years. Bernice enjoyed her garden, flower beds, yard, playing cards, and bingo. Bernice remained faithful to God in St. Dominique's Church all her life. She was blessed with a good quality of life right up until her stroke on March the 28th, 2017. A special thanks to Dr. Ong, who cared for Mum for over 40 years, and a special thanks to the nurses and palliative care unit in the Neepawa Hospital. And those are the obituaries. And students learn fairness and diversity. The the 6A class at NACI participated in the Stronger Together Diversity in Action program through JA Manitoba and sponsored by RBC on May 10th and 11th. Maya Ignacio prepared the students for topics related to today's workplace, where people with many differences work together to achieve common goals. Students participated in activities related to exploring diversity in the world and how being able to work together is a significant determinant of workplace success. They also learned about understanding fairness, discovering the importance of support networks and workplace mentorship, and embracing diversity at work. The students had a great learning experience and received certificates. Good for them. Great. Oh, and this week's coming up, how-to events the Home Hardware has, is how to install drywall, and that'll be on May the 31st from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So if you ever wanted to know how to install drywall, that would be a good thing to attend. And on the back page, we just have a photo showing the people that are at the annual plant sale at Erickson Collegiate on Friday, May the 19th. Plant sales are very, very nice to attend. But you always come home with more than what you thought you would. Even if you said you were never going to get anything, you always have to get something. Okay. Neepawa Manitoba Youth Job Centre is open once again for the summer. Centres across Manitoba are in their 42nd year of successfully supporting youth employment in Manitoba. The Neepawa Job Centre is sponsored by Manitoba Education and Training in partnership with Marilyn Crew, Economic Development Officer of Neepawa, and serves the communities of Neepawa, Arden, Burnie, Brookdale, and Eden. My name is Melissa McFarland, and I am the Neepawa and Area Manitoba Youth Job Centre Engagement Leader for the summer of 2017. I have just completed my 2-year Business Administration Diploma at Red River College in Winnipeg, and I am very excited to be in the community. The Manitoba Youth Job Centre is designed to meet the employment needs of students and youth, as well as the needs of employers who have vacant positions to fill, by offering a free referral service to those who wish to hire an eager, hard-working young person. Employers of all types, business and household, can take advantage of the free services the centre provides. Only the most qualified candidates are referred, and the employer always has the final hiring decision. We encourage students and youth over the age of 12 to register with our office. If you are seeking full-time, part-time, or casual employment, need help with your resume, or want to expand your job search and interview skills, just drop by and I will be happy to work with you. The center also held an open house event on Wednesday, May the 24th. I'm looking forward to a great summer in our community. If you have any questions or employment needs, please feel free to call 204-841-1294 or stop by the Manitoba Youth Job Center office at 275 Hamilton Street from 8:30 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. I hope to hear from you soon. And I do hope that they get a good response from employers. And the sports. We'll start with the Midwest Baseball League standings. And a little note here for parents and coaches. Game pictures for publication can be submitted via email at sports@neepawabanner.com. Now the Mosquito League. Neepawa is in 5. Now let me figure this out. GWLT. 5 games. Strathclair is 4. You know, I'm not really quite sure how we figured that one out. Games won, lost, total. Gotcha. Games won, lost, total. Neepawa. 5 games, won 5, lost none, and total is they've won 5. Strathclair won 5 out of a total of 5. Russell, 3 games, won 2, lost, and out of a total of 1. I don't know how they do the points. I really don't. So we're not even going to go there. But I will find out, because obviously the baseball games are in full playing at the moment, and I'm not quite sure what they all stand for. NACI hits the track at Selkirk Royal Rumble. The Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute Tigers continue to pile up solid results on the track, as the team recently competed at the Selkirk Royal Rumble. For this most recent competition, the junior varsity squad performed extremely well, led by Ben Parrott winning the junior varsity boys 400 meters with a spectacular time of 53.73. That result was 3.34 seconds better than the second place competitor. The junior varsity boys relay team, meanwhile, placed second in the 4x100 meter relay, registering a time of 48.46. Braden Gillies claimed a second overall spot in the junior varsity's triple jump with an 11.09 meter performance. He also picked up 6th place in the long jump, 5.52 meters, and 7th in the discus, 27.45 meters. Teammate Jarrett Ranke also claimed a top 10 finish in the triple jump with a 9.28 meter jump. In the javelin throw, Dax Turner took 10th place with a 28.57 meters. In the junior varsity girls shot put, 4 kilograms, Riley Gluska secured second place with a throw of 7.92 meters. She also earned 8th in discus, 20.84 meters, and 5th in javelin, 23.07 meters. On the senior side of the competition, Hammer Jackson picked up a pair of third place finishes in shot put, 5 kilograms, for 11.66 meters, and discus throw, 1.5 kilograms, for a distance of 31.65 meters. As well, Dylan O'Shannock took 10th in discus with 27.34 meter throw. For the senior girls shot put, NACI's Taryn McConaughey was the third place finisher, 8.74 meters, and second in the javelin throw, 24.95 meters. And the Cubs fall to the Mavericks in the Santa Clara season opener. A bottom of the seventh sacrifice fly clinched the Minnedosa Mavericks a 3-2 win over the Neepawa Cubs on opening night of the Santa Clara Baseball League. Bryce Stephenson picked up the win on the mound for the Mavericks on Wednesday, May the 17th, recording the final 6 outs, including 3 strikeouts. Cole Kukowicz took the loss for the Cubs, 0-1, in a relief role, allowing 2 runs over 3 innings with 2 strikeouts. Elsewhere around the league on opening night, the defending champions, the Portage Padres, beat the Plumas Pirates 6-4. The Ebb and Flow Lakers defeated the Dauphin Brewers 6-5, and the Carberry Royals held off a late-game rally from the Austin A's to collect a 10-7 victory. A few days later, Plumas picked up their first win with a dominant 9-2 effort over Ebb and Flow, and then followed that up with an 8-2 decision over Austin on Tuesday, May the 23rd, to improve their overall regular season record to 2-1. As for the Neepawa Cubs, they returned to action on Wednesday, May 24th with their home opener versus Portage. The final results from that matchup were not available before the Neepawa Banner's publication deadline, but will appear in next week's edition. And the league standing to May the 24th is Minnedosa Mavericks, Carberry Royals, Plumas Pirates, Portage Padres, Ebb and Flow Lakers, Neepawa Cubs, Austin A's, and Dauphin Brewers in 8th place. And the provincial crop report, May the 23rd, 2017, featuring a photo of Sosifo Gordon adjusting the loading auger on a field between Neepawa and Minnedosa on Tuesday, May the 24th. Dry and moderate weather conditions at the start of the week were reported, with cooler and rainier conditions for the latter part. About 10 to 30 millimeters of rain came on the weekend for most of the eastern half of the province. Seeding operation progressed well during the week. Rains reported in the central, eastern, and interlake areas are helping to resupply surface soil moisture and improve emergence of later planted crops. It is estimated that 85 to 90% of seeding is completed in Manitoba. Frost conditions reported in all regions, with temperatures dipping to -2 to as low as -6 on Friday, May 19th. Most frost-sensitive crops like canola and soybeans were not yet emerged, limiting the extent of damage. There are some reports of reseeding, but very limited. Early planted cereal crops are growing well, and many fields are in the 2 to 3 leaf stage. Herbicide applications are being done as fields are in the proper stage and weather conditions allow. Forage growth has been slow, but the recent rains and gradually warming temperatures should help. Cattle are being moved out to pastures as forage growth allows. Water supplies are considered adequate. In the southwest region, dry and windy conditions during the week in most parts of the region allowed many more acres to be seeded. Daytime temperatures were variable, going from normal to above normal. There were a couple of nights with temperatures falling below freezing in the -3 Celsius in some areas. There are some reports of frost damage southwest of Highway Number 1, but no reports of reseeding yet. Most frost-sensitive crops had not emerged when the frost hit. Many farmers are still seeding around the clock while good conditions prevail. Overall, 75% seeding is done in the southwest region. Cereals are 80 to 90% done. Canola is 50 to 60% complete. Field pea seeding is mostly completed and emerging well. Soybeans are about 60 to 70% range done planted. Majority of corn is planted. Most farmers are hoping for a rain that will help mellow seeded soil and provide sufficient moisture for germinating canola. Most crops seeded before last week have emerged. Soil temperatures have been stable at around 8 to 13 degrees Celsius this past week. Most spring seeded cereals are in the 1 to 3 leaf stage. Some very early soybeans have emerged. Canola is in the cotyledon stage and should be checked regularly for flea beetles. Corn is emerging. Winter cereals are in the tillerine stage and growing well. Most herbicide applications are done on winter cereals. Pastures are greening up but remain short, requiring a rain and some warmer temperatures to stimulate growth. Alfalfa and clover stands are growing well. Dugouts have remained within their normal level. Many potholes on farmland have dried up, allowing field equipment to cultivate and plant them to annual crops. Most areas need rain to stimulate growth. Producers are moving cows to pasture. And basically, the central region, which we're in the southwest, is somewhat the same, although it's always a little bit later than we are. And that's it for the crop report. And this is under Home in the Garden section, and it's, did you know? Many homeowners have lofty goals for their homes. Such plans may include extensive renovations or even additions. While many of these projects create beautiful changes in a home, it's important to consider the impact that renovations can have on property value before beginning a project. Many home improvement projects do not add as much value as homeowners may think they do. In fact, some homeowners overbuild for their neighborhoods. This means the amount of money invested in improvements can likely never be recuperated because the house value simply exceeds those around by too much money. To avoid overbuilding, homeowners can ask themselves several questions before beginning a renovation project. Will my house be the largest house in the neighborhood? Larger homes tend to have a lower price per square foot, so you may not want to improve to this extent. Will the house blend with others in the area? If your house will stick out like a sore thumb, it will detract from its own value and could impact the value of other homes in the area. Have I examined the cost versus value of the project? Many home improvement resources analyze the cost of a project versus the overall value of that project with regard to property value. For example, a $100,000 basement remodel may not add $100,000 to the value of the home in the event you choose to sell down the line. It's important to know which projects provide the best return on investment. And we have a couple of little photos here. There's the Festivus Gold 9-bark bush, which is displayed at the greenhouse in Neepawa. A fairy garden designed by Katrina Dalrymple of Dalrymple's Country Farm Greenhouses in Minnedosa. Garden ornaments in the greenhouse in Neepawa, and tangerine zonal geraniums at Parkside Gardens at the co-op location. And petunias, picture of petunias, and golden calceolaria at Parkside Gardens. I have never heard of that, but it's quite a stunning looking plant. And keeping on the subject of renovating, and this is tools of the home renovator's trade. So remodeling is one of the largest do-it-yourself undertakings, and it goes beyond simple carpentry. Considering demolition, reconstruction, electrical, plumbing, and masonry work may be part of the do-it-yourself package. Homeowners are thinking about renovations and have to stock up on the tools and other supplies of the trade. Having the right tools can mean the difference between a job well done and a job that needs to be redone. A crowbar or a pry bar. Before you can put in new construction, you might have to get your hands dirty with some demolition. Crowbars or pry bars can be used to pry up wood slats, remove nails, or remove old decking. And a tool pouch. A tool and fastening pouch gives do-it-yourselfers a place other than their pockets to store fasteners and hand tools. Pouches can be attached to tool belts for added storage capacity. And a stud finder. Invest in a more foolproof method of locating studs behind drywall than knocking on the wall. Stud finders can provide a picture of studs, pipes, and other hidden items inside an entire length of wall. This is essential to driving nails where they belong and can also prevent sending fasteners into wires or nearby plumbing. And a level. A level is an essential tool for everyone, from casual decorators to more involved renovators. Whether hanging pictures or ensuring molding is parallel, levels are must-have tools for do-it-yourselfers. Safety glasses. Invest in a pair of safety glasses so no one working on a project deals with obstructed vision. Safety glasses also provide ample eye protection. Extension cords. If power tools are part of the renovation picture, extension cords can safely extend power where it is needed. Be sure to invest in a gauge that is large enough to handle the amperage of your most powerful tool. Measuring tape. The measure twice, cut once mantra is key to home improvements. To measure accurately each and every time, no tool chest is complete without a sturdy measuring tape. Ladder varieties. Home improvements aren't always at ground level. Purchase ladders of various heights so you can safely reach various areas of the home and avoid injury. Step stools, a step ladder, and an extension ladder all have their purposes on the job. Digital inspection scope. A scope lets you see inside walls, floors, and ceilings to find the exact location of pipes, wires, and joists. It also can be used to seek out the source of clogged drains or anywhere you desire sight into hard-to-maneuver areas. In addition to these tools, brooms, shop vacs, hammers, screwdrivers, wrenches, and pliers can complete a do-it-yourselfer's basic toolbox. And those pretty well basic. I'm sure there's lots of really neat other tools out there that are nice to have, but those are the basics. And with that, I do believe we finished reading the banner for this date. Please turn in next week, and we'll be reading the banner for next week. Thanks very much for joining us. Have a good week.